Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. We are once more and again offering another very interesting webinar seminar, both in person and virtually. I want to thank these distinguished speakers that are today in person, as well those that will be with us virtually, and I don't want to take extra time in order to let you enjoy to listen to our wonderful people that is giving us, and I would say give us the possibility to enjoy about their knowledge and vision. Thank you very much, Ed. Thank you.
Thank you, Gaetano, and welcome back, everybody, and welcome back to this second seminar here. Jewellery Industry Voices is the name of CIBJO's webinar series. So once again, for those of you that are new, it's such a pleasure to be here IRL, as they say, in real life, and having a live audience, and it's wonderful to connect with our expert panelists next to me, and two colleagues also joining us online, one from Wales and one from UK. So welcome back again. This is Jewellery Industry Voices. It's a series of webinars where we look at issues that affect the jewellery industry from the perspective of industry leaders and industry figures. This event is sponsored by PGI, the Platinum Guild International, and we're very grateful to Hugh Daniel and everybody at PGI for your ongoing commitment and support. Thinking about commitments and support, we wouldn't be here without the wonderful work that Italian Exhibition Group, IEG, Marco Carniello and his team. So thank you so much, Marco, for everything you do to promote CIBJO, to promote the industry, and to promote the whole area about responsibility and sustainability. But today we want to look at jewelry manufacturing. We want to look at how innovation and technology is driving a new way of the industry to go forward, to connect with the consumer, and to deliver a more efficient, a cleaner, and a better product. How do we address these issues? New techniques that we see emerging, such as 3D printing, additive manufacturing, laser welding, even innovation in different alloys of precious metals. These are all allowing manufacturers to create a wider range and type of jewelry than was ever possible before. So this increased use of new manufacturing technologies, it all allows increased precision in finished pieces. And this allows a cleaner manufacturing process. In turn, this allows for more creativity, helping attract a more inclusive and a more diverse range of jewelry designers into the industry. And it also allows for an increased use of alternative materials. So with this greater focus that we've been talking already about today, this greater focus on sustainability, how do we bring that in to production, to manufacturing? Innovations that allow retailers to demonstrate the positive steps that jewelry manufacturing is taking to make improvements in their efficiency, to decrease waste and reduce energy usage. To have that discussion, I'm joined here on stage by three experts in the field. We have, to my left here, Damiano Zito from ProGold. You haven't had to come too far today, being a resident here. Damiano, welcome.
Hi.
Having from further afield, Josh Helmick from Arizona, welcome. Thank you for flying all the way and being with us today.
Thank you.
We also have online with us, or should have, Kelvin James from the Diamond Centre of Wales. Kelvin, are you with us? The saying of, yes, Kelvin and Maria.
Very much, yes, we're amazing.
Good afternoon. Kelvin James from Diamond Centre of Wales, and also Maria Shipman, one of the members of your team that's doing a lot of the work in research and development. Welcome to both of you. And also on the line, we should have Peter Crump from Viper Designs. Peter, are you with us?
Hi, Ed. Yes, I'm here.
Great. Can't see you, but I can definitely hear you. Excellent. And lastly, but if we can start with Hugh Daniel from PGI. So let's dive straight in. And Hugh, I'd really like to start with you and a little bit more information about PGI's work. And what is your role as an organization in driving new technology and designs?
Thank you, Ed. Hello, everybody. I think that our role has changed dramatically in the last 5 to 10 years, primarily because in the platinum sector, there was generally a lack of innovation in the design area. So what we needed to do as basically a consumer marketing organization that had been very much focused on downstream, how do we present platinum to the consumer, we had to actually look upstream and start getting involved and stimulating design innovation. And we do that now in all of the markets where PGI operates. And I think it's fair to say that when we look at where jewelry's going, to a certain extent, design has always driven desire in the purchasing process. But you can now add two things onto that. One is technology, because technology is enabling much greater design innovation. And branding. You can't just do a pretty design. There needs to be a story. There needs to be a whole identity around it that can basically, to a certain extent, extract more value from that. We're talking about getting more value in terms of a premium margin for a well-designed and branded product. And importantly, addressing, to a certain extent, the existential issue that all retailers have in the world today, whether you're in Shanghai or in Phoenix, Arizona, or in Paris, which is there's actually less consumers physically in stores. And this is a trend that started many, many years before the pandemic, which means that every retailer needs to be able to extract more value from the customer that's walking into the store. And design technology is a key way of doing that. What I just wanted to do is just give, if I may, a few examples from each of the markets where we're working most aggressively on this area, starting with China. In China, what we've been doing for several years there is really working with the industry to innovate, because the platinum sector is very small in relation to gold. So what we were seeing was there was a lot of gold jewelry that was being really driven by interesting design, and platinum was lagging behind. So we worked very closely with the platinum sector in developing new designs. I think we're going to be seeing those on the screen. To just give you a sample of, just a flavor of the kind of jewelry that's now being produced there. Technologies like laser engraving and harder alloys and all these processes that are allowing us to kind of really push the boundaries on that design.
If I can prompt again, I think there are some images to be brought up onto the screen if we can. Thank you.
So it was a real pressing need for us in China, because basically the number one reason why consumers weren't buying platinum in China, our studies showed us, was there wasn't a design I could find that appealed to me. And when you constantly get those kind of feedback from consumers, you know you've got a problem that you've got to fix, and you can throw as much marketing money at the market as you want. But if you don't have a great product that consumers want to buy, it's a waste of money. So these are just some examples of what new improved alloys have allowed us to do in terms of changing the shape, getting into these more organic shapes. And the way we market this in China is through a branded collection that PGI owns. It's called Platinum Moment, and we make that available to the industry at large. These are some examples of products where they integrate enamel into the product. And this particular line here was inspired by Piet Mondrian, who you'll be very familiar with. And then in the gem sets sector, which is very important, it's the fastest growing sector of jewelry in China, again making sure that platinum did not have a competitive disadvantage against 18-karat gold, which it did from the point of view of manufacturing and cost. Some of the new alloys that have been developed in China now have basically narrowed the gap and made platinum much more competitive in that gem set area. Moving on to, if we could talk about maybe India. In India, platinum is a very new metal in India. We've only been in the market. We pretty much introduced platinum to India about 20 years ago, but it's only in the last 10 years that we've actually really gained traction. And when we initially launched platinum into India, it was basically what I would call a global product on a global positioning. And it failed because, as you will all know, any of you who've been to India, there is a very strong indigenous jewelry industry. Jewelry is really woven into the fabric of life in India. And so for platinum, we really needed to find a unique design language for platinum. And if I can articulate that, I would say it is a modern, internationally inspired, but fundamentally Indian product. And so some of the examples here, this is Platinum Ivara, which is a women's jewelry branded segment. What do I mean by that? We created a whole new category of jewelry that did not exist before in the marketplace, which is jewelry that can either be bought as a gift or increasingly is actually bought by young women as self-purchase, which is a relatively new phenomenon in India and certainly new in the platinum category. So these are just some examples of really some quite beautiful designs that we've been able to use to establish platinum in India and also importantly differentiate it from gold. So for the industry, platinum never was about taking share from gold. It was actually coming in with an incremental opportunity for the trade. And because of all of these pieces here use design, as you can see, in such a beautiful way, they are actually piece priced, which again differentiates platinum from gold and allows the jewelry industry to secure a very healthy margin. So the margins on platinum in India are some of the highest that you'll see in the world, which makes it a very attractive product category for the Indian trade and has really, to a certain extent, speeded up the adoption of this very new metal into the Indian market. So these are just examples, again, of platinum-intensive jewelry, so metal-intensive jewelry, where often 80% of the value of the piece is actually in a metal, and the gems are just used to highlight that. Men of Platinum is a new program that we launched 2 years ago into what is a very important sector, but again, platinum had not been present in that. And again, here we use design there was no point in coming in with a Me Too product to gold. So the designs that you see here are, I would say, fashion forward and very in line with the positioning of platinum in India, which is a metal that really resonates with the progressive values of the younger generation of Indians today. Whether we're in the love gifting market or the self-purchase market, platinum, the way we've positioned it from a marketing point of view, is very much a metal that corresponds with progressive contemporary values. Here we see some products which are integrating gold. And then lastly, if I can just go to the USA, where in the USA, a market which, as you know, is dominated by the diamond, and platinum has a role in that, a very important role in that market, but it's a niche role, holding the diamond. What we wanted to do is we believed there was a market for metal-intensive jewelry in platinum, which was just non-existent in the American market. So what we did is we created a brand, which is called Platinum Born, and we introduced product which is readily available in Japan, beautifully manufactured, machine-manufactured beads, miracle beads, products which, for all intents and purposes, look like diamonds because they have mirrored facets, but in fact, these are pieces of jewelry that are entirely made out of the platinum metal. And again, I think the reason I wanted to share this example was this shows how you can actually create a whole new category of jewelry. You know, there was not, for all intents and purposes, there was not a self-purchase, female self-purchase platinum category in America, and this product's filling that gap. And this product is now readily available in high-end independent stores and in Saks Fifth Avenue and Neiman Marcus and online. And as you can see here, it's a very distinctive product. There's nothing else like this on the US market, and it just is an example again of where you can use technology and design to create new business opportunities. And I think that's what this webinar is all about.
Thank you, and thank you for highlighting that and giving us some visual treats there on the screen. Thank you so much for your patience, Kelvin and Maria, and also Peter. Peter, if I can turn to you first, in Leicestershire there in the UK, welcome to join us. And I introduced you as being from Viper Designs, your business of more than 40 years. But we also really wanted you to talk with us about the Goldsmiths Craft and Design Council Awards, or the GCDC Awards. Many people in the UK refer to them as the Oscars of the jewellery industry. So Peter, as the chairman of the GCDC Awards and the council, have you noticed an increase in designer makers using more innovation and technology in jewellery manufacturing in the UK? And how has GCDC Awards responded to this?
Well, absolutely. A large number of the entrants in our awards are students or recent graduates, and they've extensive exposure to the most recent technology and innovation within the jewellery industry. So as an organisation with a 120-year history, GC and DC, we've always judged hand skills to the highest standards. We're a benchmark organisation. It's not about first, second and third. It's about, are you good enough? Are you good enough to take a bronze, a silver or a gold award? So now it's really appropriate that we encourage entrance into technological sections within the competition and judge in the same way. So we've partnered over the last few years, we've partnered with industry leaders, say like Cooks and Gold would be a good example, or Alpha Lasers, to create new sections within the competition for these technically advanced people to enter. So whether it's design or whether it's modern technological skills, so designs for precious metal printing, laser technology, whether it's hand laser skills using new technology, but these are the new craft skills in our industry, so it's appropriate that we promote them.
Thank you. Let me turn back to the room if I can, and Damiano, thank you for joining from ProGold here in Italy. What do you consider is the most important innovation in jewelry manufacturing that you're currently focusing on?
Finally, 3D metal printing, in our opinion, is the most disruptive innovation in jewelry. I mean, is the way to build jewelry in a totally different way. Like it happened with horse and train, then you were going from one city to another city with horse, and then you totally change, you get by plane, for example, from one city to another one. And now, metal printing, which has not to be confused with wax printing, then that is in somehow just a new phases to still applying the casting process in jewelry. Metal printing is offering several benefits, several advantages. It's a very, let's say, disrupting innovation. That's why it takes some time more to be, how to say, embraced and accepted. There are many reasons why the people are not really in somehow, everyone say, oh, I love this technology, I love this technology. But always and every day they have not enough brave to totally embrace. However, metal printing is the most attractive and big opportunity for the production and the freedom for the future idea and design in jewelry field.
Thank you. Excellent. We'll talk about that more in a minute, but if I can turn to Josh here, you know, what type of developments have occurred in platinum alloys? And you know, what does this allow for designers and manufacturers?
Thank you, Ed. You know, back in the 90s, really when platinum, I would say, became much more popular with PGI's help, there was a lot of push for alloy development and new technology. But as the price of platinum continued to escalate and gold kind of stayed down, you know, I feel like there was a time frame there where it kind of fell off, and gold really leaped ahead. And Hugh had mentioned that in China, but that was really globally. But over the past few years, there's been a big resurgence in new alloy development, you know, across the board, and being able to push some of the work that was done in the 90s and early 2000s into the future. To be able, at the end of the day, you want to create a better product, and create, and you know, alloy that's harder, but also still has ductility. So it can, you know, you can do more CNC work. It's quicker to polish, has lower porosity, things of that nature. So, and right now, I think with the resurgence, it's also helpful, you know, with the price of platinum being where it is and the price of gold. I mean, it is a great time to be able to push platinum further into the marketplace, because it's not double the cost of gold as it was, you know, 08, 09, you know, it was 2.5 the cost of gold products. So there's a lot of work going on, and a lot of exciting things are going to be coming out.
And do any of these alloys, do they vary by region? You know, Hugh was looking at different regions, so do you see anything?
Yeah, you know, one thing that's not realized, I think, to the end consumer and even to the salespeople on the floor is not all platinum alloys are the same. And you have various parts of the globe. You know, China, for example, is very platinum copper driven. The U.S. is more platinum ruthenium. UK is platinum cobalt, and everyone's got some benefits and some disadvantages. But those do translate to the end consumer and how well the product wears and how it looks over time. So, you know, I think as the alloy development continues and the knowledge comes out and is able to be all the way down to the end consumer, that at the end of the day, they can get a better product.
Kelvin, let's turn to you, and thank you for joining and representing Wales today. It's great to have you online with us just outside Cardiff there. And, you know, you're sitting there in your office with Maria Shipman. And, you know, for me, when I started to investigate this topic, I was immediately told to speak with the Diamond Centre of Wales, because you're doing so much innovation and technology. In fact, Maria joins you on a KTP scheme, a knowledge transfer and partnership, which is between academia and industry. So as a traditional jeweler for more than 30 years. Why are you so focused on innovation, research and development, and innovation in technology nowadays?
Thanks, Ed, and thanks for inviting us. Well, I don't know whether the rest of the panel agree with me, but in the UK at the moment, there seems to be a shortage of people to train for goldsmiths. The ones that do train in the UK are staying around the hubs of the Birmingham Jewellery Quarter, Hatton Garden area. It's very hard for those people to get down to relocate to South Wales. So as a company, we've had to look at other methods. So we're looking at innovation and very innovative ways to support our current goldsmiths and in turn grow our markets and demographic to secure a strong future for the Diamond Centre. I also want to say that our priority will never change. And the Diamond Centre will always have the customer interest first. We want to create a very unique and extraordinary design way that our clients come up with, and our designers, of course. 3D printing is going to be a great support in that area. With that ethos, with all the different design capabilities it can offer compared to traditional manufacturing methods.
So, you talked about the importance of 3D printing and why you're focusing on it. Can it really be a profitable strategy for you going forward? And how are you going to promote the growth in this area?
Right, okay, well, I'll tell you what, now Maria's sitting next to me, the beautiful Maria. I'll pass you on to Maria for that answer.
Hi, so I'm working, like Ed said, with Birmingham City University's The School of Jewellery to research how precious metal 3D printing can be embedded within an SME and how it can be profitable for small businesses. And I think there are a few ways in which 3D printing supports growth and profits within the Diamond Centre. And it is through, like Damiano said, unique designs and can be with quicker manufacturing times as well. 3D printing can offer a wider range of jewellery designs due to capabilities that the printer can create compared to what a casting department can create. This gives designers and creators kind of an untouched at the moment realm to create exclusive and uncopyable jewellery. And so we're looking at two different types of printers. One being traditionally used for, well, not traditionally used, but used in jewellery manufacturing at the moment, kind of selective laser melting, or SLM for short. And we're also looking at binder jetting technology. But with selective laser melting, there's about 5 different design aspects that we can look at compared to casting. So we can create lighter jewellery by hollowing or lightweighting a part, meaning we can offer a wider clientele our service and our unique designs, as there's less metal weight. But it also means that in our larger statement pieces, that they are easier and lighter for the wearer. So that is a big bonus. But also we can add foreign parts such as stones, hair, small urns of ashes in different ways to traditional methods.
Yep.
And settings.
Great.
Sorry.
No, that's lovely. Sorry, thank you for that. I mean, I think we've got a great picture of how you're using 3D printing in your process. So, we've talked about alloys, we've talked about 3D printing, some other applications and some benefits. And Josh, you've introduced me to this new term. Let's hope I get it right. HIP, hot isostatic pressing. Let's look at that. And what is it, and what are the benefits of being HIP?
Okay. Well, HIP, the technology has actually been around for a long time. It was developed in the 1960s, used defense industry, aerospace industry. It's come into the jewelry industry much more recently, but it is still not widely used. And basically, it's a technology that helps eliminate porosity, helps create better densification of the metal, whether it be platinum or gold, and better ductility within the metal. Now, This is done in a machine that basically you throw the items in, and it's heat, pressure, and time. And so for porosity, it literally crushes all the internal voids within the metal. And it is used in, for cast products. It's also used on AM side.
Additive manufacturing
side. And it's actually, they're utilizing it in the gemstone industry now as well. So it's a technology that it was extremely expensive, and the cost has come down quite a bit. So with that, that is enabling more jewelers that, learn about it to be able to have access to it. And if you really want to get all the details on it, last year I did a video in conjunction with Platinum Guild. It's on platinumabc.com, which is one of PGI's newer channels, and did a 2-day video with one of the global leaders in the United States for creating this technology.
Great. Well, we've all got some research to do there
Yep.
at platinumabc.com. Thank you. And how briefly, if you can, how does it feed into 3D printing?
Well, I think I'm going to pass it over to this gentleman right here because...
Sure.
You're good. You're good.
It is somehow a technology that, in my opinion, started in metal printing. It came to jewelry through metal printing or through platinum, because it's really much helping to densify that kind of items produced in platinum or in metal printing, while gold jewelry really is not really suffering that kind of huge problem that happens on casting with platinum. In our facility, we use 2 HIP system, so for metal printing. And in metal printing, I tell you, the reason was very simple. Since it was a baby technology, and then we didn't want to spoil reputation, and since the expectation by everyone in jewelry by metal printing was so high, then we didn't make any mistake in delivering something. So one way was to hipping all items to try to do not give the excuse by the final consumer, or company, because we deliver semi-finished products, to say, there is something wrong, this technology doesn't work, and blah, blah, blah. So that's why we decided to go for HIP. But on my point of view, HIP should be really embraced by the entire jewelry, especially on high end. But on mass production, it has not really sense, because mass production not really looking for that perfection in jewelry. But on high-end jewelry, it makes sense because the reworking is much more expensive than the money that you need to invest to have a HIP unit in the company.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And you can totally stop any thermodynamic calculation that you do to put the gate system runner around the piece because of controlling the shrinkage and that stuff. So let's say it's a kind of pill of the day after, you can do whatever.
I think Damiano hit it perfectly right there. I mean, for jewelry production, it basically takes your rejection rate, regardless if it's in AM space or in casting space, almost down to 0, which is unheard of without this technology, regardless of the metal. So the benefits, the machines can pay for themselves relatively quickly, and the benefits are endless. And there's even new technology coming out. It's out, but hasn't really been applied yet within the jewelry industry space. But I feel like we'll see more of that with HIP technology and sintering all at the same time. So there's a lot of exciting things that will be coming out.
And we talked earlier about how 3D printing is really in its infancy, and you talked about a little baby. I mean, how do we help this technology to develop and to mature and to be a fully fledged adult, if I can, and contribute to society.
Yeah, yes, I was always using this example to try to talk about, to give a description about metal printing, because it's really like a baby. It needs people that be enough patient on what is still missing from the ability point of view, because of the possibility that is able to offer in the future. There are really not, I will say that who is involved in metal printing, we should choose the right, let's say, people that when they see the technology, they just say, wow. They have not to say, he's doing this, he's doing that, he's doing that thing. No, because the technology somehow is ready. Like many things in the market, when they are ready doesn't mean that they are successful. So you can be ready and not successful, because there are the distance between being ready and being successful is not very short nowadays. And how to help in practice is just exactly from our side, I can say from my side, to try to do not wasting time to the people that will embrace only when it will be ready in his point of view, which means that everyone are using.
Okay.
Because those people say, everyone is using, so I use.
Yep.
No, we have to go to the people who say, wow, I help you to, so you give me something and I give you back my feedback. Yeah. But I do not complain because it's still not able, that baby, to sing. Because, you know, it takes time to learn singing.
Yeah, thank you. And, you know, it's a great analogy. I like the way that we're going to have to help this product or this technology to develop. And Kelvin, if I can turn to you again, you know, you've talked to us about how you're in a transitional period and you're moving much more into this technology space. But, you know, within that, you know, how can you create a complete circuit of production in your facility there with your jewelry manufacturing, and how's that going to work for you as a manufacturer, but also as a retailer?
Well, okay, at the Diamond Center now, we're working on several projects, and we are at the early stages of expanding, and we can provide, as a jewelry manufacturer, from augmented reality marketing to security. We're looking at all sectors of our business and how we can be leaders for luxury retailers. You know, we're working in 3 areas. We're working on an app at the moment that we've created called CERIC. It's technology that which the wearer can see them wearing the piece of jewelry and have an option of fast bespoke creativity within their design. We're working with Bangor and Aberystwyth universities to develop a new innovative traceability system. Now, that should be out, we're developing it now, should be out next year, and that's going to be ridiculously interesting. With all new grading and security technology for precious stones and high-value products. We're working with Maria on the Jewel Print project with Birmingham University, developing precious metal printers. Yep. And how they can be embedded into the industry, and especially at the Diamond Center. We also should find out today if we were successful in obtaining a grant with Sheffield University to create a new SLM printer. That's going to be a new prototype that we've already got a shared patent on. Can you just spell out SLM for those who are not familiar with it? Oh, sorry, SLM, Selected Laser Melting. Thank you. Great. That's nice to hear about all the projects you've got on the go. We'll look forward to hearing more about them. Peter, you know, as a manufacturer, you've seen a rapid rise in the popularity of bespoke jewelry in retail stores. You know, from your perspective, you know, how does technology and innovation that we're talking about here, how does this support retail jewelers having a much more bespoke service to customers?
So, like I said, speaking now as Viber Designs, obviously our business for the last few years has focused almost totally on high-end bespoke manufacturing, business to business, sort of one-off and small batch production. So the advances in technology, especially CAD and rapid prototyping, have allowed us to create totally bespoke service with a greatly reduced cost from handmade. The advances with casting technology as well has allowed us to viably use niche metals such as repurposing clients' own metal, fair trade, fair mind, and SMO, allows us to make a totally viable process for bespoke. This is new territory.
Yeah, it's good, and I think many retailers in the room have seen that increase into bespoke and can see that potential. Let's segue in for the last few questions really about creativity and sustainability, this topic that we've been talking about already today. And Kelvin, maybe I can turn to you first, but in terms of your jewelry manufacturing, what are you doing as a business to reduce your carbon footprint through your manufacturing process?
Very good question. This is something, it's a big topic at the moment with obviously worldwide and definitely the diamond sector. We've been tackling it for some time. We want a business basically to be passed on from generation to generation. It's been going on for 44 years, so we want to see it carry on for at least another 100 years. To make it sustainable, we must contribute to it too. It's no secret that casting has a huge environmental impact. Casting creates a huge amount of carbon emissions. We identified a few years ago when we were reflecting on what changes we could make, and 3D printing will provide a like-for-like alternative to casting. Although there will always be a need, we feel, for investment casting. We're very much involved with an amazing caster in Birmingham. So albeit we need this casting to be greener for the environment.
Yeah.
But as all manufacturers need to be vigilant and literally need to strive towards a greener future for investment casting. We're looking at the moment into offsetting the electricity that we use for our manufacturing process currently, but the early stages of research into renewable energy. So basically watch this space.
Okay, good. Watch this space. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I thought you said watch this space, so we'll look forward to watching it. Let's come back to the room when we're talking about sustainability. Damiano, we had a great chat the other day, and you had some wonderful work that you were doing with actually tracking your carbon emissions for 3D printing compared to traditional casting. But I mean, you know, if I can give a slightly wider question, I mean, how does 3D metal printing give freedom for creativity that allows to move towards sustainability?
From creativity point of view, I believe that more than only the design, of course, metal printing is the first argument that someone is using when has to explain which is the advantages or opportunities that metal printing could give to the one that is going to embrace the technology is design. Yeah. But it's true that it is possible to print whatever you want, but it's not possible to finish whatever you want. So you can print, but it stay printed. So you cannot finish because you can't really enter to polish every single, place of that jewels. So I will say that the creativity should go a bit more in the direction of the material also, because metal printing creativity is not only what you see. I mean, I will like to open a small window on the material, because metal printing will give a chance, of course, to succeed in much better level on the platinum production, but as well on the composite alloys. So today, I always love to say that a goldsmith, it's an artist with 3 colors: yellow, white, and red. But there is a chance with metal printing, thanks to the way it is growing the jewel, to entrap some colored items or some colored particles, and maybe in the next 5 years we will have a chance to have even some different colors. How this will impact with sustainability? I believe that, you know, the nice thing of metal printing is that is a less energy eater technology.
Yeah.
So to do it, the same thing needs less energy. As you see in the picture, this was a research we were doing 5 years ago already, and we were measuring every single production phase of casting compared to metal printing. And it was a batch of platinum rings, and you can see that there is approximately 1/3, but it's simple. If you have a car where the weight is 2 tons, and you have to go from here to Rome, the petrol that you need is different than if that's the same car, same size, but it's just 1 ton. So in casting, you have rubber preparation, wax injection, 3 preparation, investment preparation, burnout, and casting. In metal printing, you have printing. So just one phase is easy, is logic. Even if you do not do the calculation, then you get the answer that it's a way to produce that has much less impact on the environment.
Very clear. Thank you. Very clear. Josh, we were talking as well. You do a lot of work with the mining companies. So what do you see mining companies doing to further their sustainability journeys, especially in the area of platinum?
Yeah, they've actually been doing quite a bit. Hugh touched on this a little bit earlier, but I don't think a lot of people realize, you know, how large specifically the platinum mining companies are and the regulations that they're under. And they're really at the forefront of utilizing technology to, you know, become carbon neutral. Hugh had mentioned that. I think it was 2040, I believe. You know, they're utilizing a lot of renewables for the equipment, you know, to divest away from fossil fuels. I know 2030 is a big goal for renewables for the mining companies as well within the platinum space. And so the one thing, I feel like that messaging though, and I thought the presentation earlier was great, but that messaging also needs to translate down to the end consumer, because mining companies in general don't, you know, they don't have they're not looked upon greatly, so to speak of, but what they're actually doing and their support for the local communities and you know, less water or waterless mining, there's a lot of things that they're actually utilizing that are extremely important that will bring them to that sustainable factor. But I think all the way down to, you know, the end consumer, it's important that we can translate that so the end consumer can also know, because at the end of the day, you still have to bring metal out of the ground.
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
know.
And you know, the old adage, if we don't farm it, we need to mine it.
Yeah.
And you know, we have to use this technology and increase the way that we bring products out of the ground for efficiency. Peter Crump over there in UK. Peter, can I ask you to put your GCDC, your Goldsmiths, Craft and Design Council Award hat on? And with this shift towards more sustainability in jewelry manufacturing, how have you responded from GCDC, and what are you doing around that?
So look, we all know that the greater jewellery industry has been very slow to respond to the issues of sustainability and ethics. For years there's been so much smoke and mirrors covering our industry, it's disgraceful. So at GC&DC this year, with one of our patrons, Val Comby, we introduced a special new award to identify, spotlight and celebrate responsible ethical practices in the competition.
Oh.
So the award that we've offered is open to all entrants in the competition, and judging from the number of entries, we were absolutely blown away. It's such an important subject to all the craft and design people that we're working with. We're just absolutely delighted that we made that move.
Excellent. And I would be remiss if I didn't remind the audience that Kelvin, your team, DCW, Diamond Centre of Wales, have been a GCDC award winner in the past, and I'm sure and I hope you will be in the future too. Let me just wrap up quickly. I know we're a bit over time, but hey, we started late, so we're going to finish late. And I'd like to turn to each of you in turn with a simple question. In a way, it's a way of wrapping up the whole discussion today. Why is innovation in technology and design in jewelry manufacturing important for the industry? Why is what we've been talking about important? Maybe I'll turn to you, Damiano, to start, in no particular order.
Yeah. In my opinion, for the topic I was talking today, the most important advantages that metal printing is offering that has to be taken into consideration as the reason that makes sense to innovate is the sustainability. So no technical things, no really technical things. Technical things is something that you can achieve working, then you can do better. But once the highest and the most precious value is the sustainability, the lower environmental impact. Only this one will make the reason to go for metal printing. Then all technical limitation can be solved.
Excellent. And I didn't mention, if I can ask you all to be brief, because it's lunchtime and we are in Italy and we know what that means. Maybe I can go out of the room here and go to Kelvin. Same question to you. Why is technology and innovation important in jewelry manufacturing?
Thanks, Ed. Firstly, really, I want to pass this business to my daughters and my granddaughters and so forth, so they can pass it on to their children, etc. But to do that, we need to grow manufacturing in the UK. We need to respond to trends, competitions, and we need to evolve. If COVID has taught us anything in business, is to adapt, and 3D printing is ever-changing, adaptable technology which can support production and growth within our businesses.
Excellent, thank you. Peter, same question to you if I can.
So I trained as a craftsman, and the initial instruction to me was to make something as well as I possibly could, always strive to make it better. As a manufacturer, I've done that. Manufacturing is not just about making it quickly or cheaply, it's making it well and everything that encompasses.
Josh?
To me, design is truly an art form. And a lot of designing companies and designers globally, they have visions, but the technology and the resources are not always available to create those visions. So to help the industry continue to move forward, fashion forward, so to speak of, you do need these technologies, these alloy developments, AM, to be able to help support the design side to achieve a finished product.
Excellent, thank you. Now, I know we're a bit over time, but I'd love to take some questions from the audience because we're live. So if any of you do have any questions, now's a great time to put up your hand and a microphone will be with you. Please identify who you are, where you're from, and if it's to a panelist, identify them by name.
Oh, that challenge.
Correct name.
My name is Elle Hill. I'm from Hill & Company Business Management Consultants to the diamond, gemstone, and jewelry industry only. And my question is for all of you guys. I learned things. I love this industry. I learned so much about how you guys are implementing technology to underpin the actual work that you guys do. But I heard you say, making sure the consumers understand what we're doing, especially around the sustainability part and the impact, that measurable impact that you showed on your slide. My question to you is this. In B2B, which you guys are in the middle of the stream here, I find, I'm curious about how you're implementing technology and digital marketing and digital spaces and all the developments that are happening in order to communicate and show up to the people who are your B2B business buyers, because they actually need to be communicated to just like end consumers. And I wonder if that is on your radar. And if so, what you're doing.
Thank you. Who would like to take that first?
I wouldn't mind addressing that because out of interest, about 3-4 years ago, we opened a showroom in Shenzhen to showcase the platinum manufacturing community. there. And then the pandemic happened. And so it was a showroom that was basically developed for physical visitors as buyers from all over China descend on Shenzhen, which is a jewelry capital of China. That became an online showroom. So we have a digital version of that. So we now actually have, thanks to the pandemic, we have more volume of visitors visiting that digital showroom. So we're basically using the same space. It's a physical showroom, but we've repurposed it in a digital way.
Maybe I can ask Kelvin, as the retailer in the room, what are your thoughts around this question? How are you responding to the consumer's questions? Are you getting questions from the consumer?
Oh, absolutely. There's a never-ending stream of questions, and I think what we're doing with the innovation side of the company is helping it. It's getting down to source and traceability, to huge amount of grading systems, how we can be not just sustainable, but how we can be in evidence, how we can prove everything. I think a good idea as well is that we're creating systems that we'll be using blockchain technology, and we've embraced that enormously in the trade and developing it. So going from B to B is, I think it's going to be very easy in the future, and very, 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 very visible. Yeah.
Great, thank you. Unless there are any other questions.
I would just agree with that. It's visibility, it's transparency, it's sharing as much of our business as we can with our clients and their clients, and that's absolutely crucial. It encourages trust and so much more within the business.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you very much. Unless there are any other questions from the audience, I will say thank you very much to all of you for being here. Thank you so much, Peter, Kelvin, and Maria, for joining us. We wish you a good rest of your day over there. Damiano, thank you so much. We wish you good business at the show. You'll be at your booth, Pro Gold, shortly, I'm sure. Josh, thanks a lot for joining us with us and joining in this conversation. And Hugh, for your support for CIBJO and the industry from PGI, we thank you all. Lastly, but as I said at the beginning, thanks to IEG, Italian Exhibition Group, Marco Caniello, and the team. And I'm signing off now. I'm going to go and have a nice Italian lunch. Wishing you all a good day.
Bye.